Today, as you've probably read in the title, I am going to be focusing on the breakdown of the keto percentages or ratio of fat, carbs, and protein. Before we do dive into that, I do want to share I am not a medical professional. This is all based off of my own research and experience. If this is something you're looking to do, please feel free to reach out to your physician to make sure that they are good with it and do your own research as well. With that being said, today's lunch is a perfect example as to how I figure out what my food ratios are for my lunch meal or for any meal to ensure that it still falls within the keto guidelines. Now, generally on keto, you do try to aim for a certain ratio of fat, protein, and carbs in your diet to ensure that you remain in ketosis. Generally, for carbs, you want to be at about 5 to 10%. Your protein, you're looking at about 20 to 25%. And then your fat, you're looking between 70 and 80%. And there are some foods that I've gotten really comfortable with where I know what those ratios are and that it fits. But at times I want to switch up my meal. And today I was so excited. I went to Giant Eagle, my local grocery store, and they had the Quest tortilla chips that I've wanted to try for quite some time. And I'm a big nacho fan, so I have struggled without my tortilla chips. So today was the day I was going to try nachos, and overall I thought I kind of knew how I was going to be able to do the perfect ratio. But as we walk through this, you'll see it did take some adjustments of what I wanted to put on those nachos to really make them perfect and fall within my keto ratio. Okay guys, so as I have mentioned before, when it comes to knowing my ratios for what I am eating, I like to use the Carb Manager app. So that's what I'm going to use today to show you how I decided what to eat for lunch. So I'm clicking on the Carb Manager app. So this is my food log for today. I don't track every single meal in here because I tend to know what some of them are. But if I'm trying something new or I need to know the ratios to make sure I stay on track, I like to log it in here. Today, I am doing intermittent fasting, so I have not eaten anything today besides having my coffee this morning along with a little bit of heavy cream, what tends to just be fat and maybe a carb. So nothing much there. So what I'm aiming for now is my lunch meal. I tend to do about 500 to 700 calories, and I really like it to be at least 70% fat, between 20% protein, and then just that 5% carb. So somewhere in that ratio. I know that's not 100, but we will see what we get to. So first off, what I want to do is essentially add a food item. And what's really neat about the app is you can just scan the item that you're looking to eat. So I've got my items laid out here as you saw, and my main thing is making these nachos today. So what do I know about that? That I am for sure going to need some chips. And so we're going to add that for today. And that one's pretty high in protein. Next up, we are going to go with the cheese. And I'm going to be adding that as well. About half a cup sounds good. I like them extra cheesy. And then I got this amazing gyro meat I'm excited to try that I want to add on there as well, just to really add some depth to the actual nachos. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1.5 ounces of that, about half a serving. Now, if I go out and look at what my ratios are, I have about 7 carbs, which is great. I try to stay under 12 for this meal. Again, it is my biggest meal. My carbs are at about 6%, protein's at 36, and then my fat is at 57. So I definitely want to do some adjustment here. Now, what I was first thinking was maybe adding some sour cream. And again, you can also just search for items, which is a great thing to add, but I would need to do quite a bit in order to really up my fat, as well as then it would up my carbs. So maybe not sour cream, maybe some black olives. Let's see there. And we'll add 4 of those because honestly, I love the flavor. And then I'm going to go out here and look again. Not much has changed, right? Now, I actually like to have almost a little sweet treat with my lunch meal just because it makes me feel like I am not dieting, because I'm not. This is a lifestyle change. So I was thinking through what snacks I have that I can add that's really going to up that fat intake for me. And what I have loved recently is let me see here, see they're in my favorites, my butter pecan cookies by All Day I Dream About Food. I will link her channel below, but she is absolutely amazing. And as we can see here, it's all fat and a little bit of carbs. So if I add that to today's lunch meal, we're now looking at a lot better of a percentage. I'm over my 70%. I've got my 5% in carbs and my 23 in fat. So this to me is a perfect lunch meal, and we are sitting right under that 700 calories. Okay, so I hope that was super helpful for you. Again, I don't track my calories all day long. I do eat somewhere between 12 to 1300 to 1700 calories a day. I do really try to avoid snacking, which is why the ratios are so important to me. Because if I'm just eating something that's high in protein, which really doesn't seem bad, right? The way I was initially going to make the nachos, well, then I'm going to find myself hungry in a few hours, and then I eat more than I need to. But if I keep that fat intake high, I'm going to remain fuller for longer, and honestly will probably able to go all the way till dinner. So that's why the ratios to me are so important. Also, so that I don't trick my body and it's going, wait, why did we just get a carb meal? And then it hangs on to those carbs and kicks me out of ketosis. So I really try to aim for even my snacks and my meals to fall within those ratio guidelines. If you have any questions below on how I manage this, please put it in the comments, and I will see you guys later. Bye.